Clink, clink. Correct the autofocus. Sit in front of here. I didn't want to sit and show you my shiny head. No, that's not a cut. That's just like a couple of wiggles. I had a full set of hair last year, and I still got some hair left, so there's always a chance. So what I want to talk about right now is so many things. I go everywhere with this, but I'd love to stick to numbers. Who's here just to hear the numbers? Who's here to hear the story? Who's here to see the art or something I can build? I'm not a very good builder, but I can bring out the idea. I can bring out the idea. Imagine you had one of these little things, right? But at the same time, if you look at it, it unravels. And when it unravels all the way to the end, what will happen is this record will fall right to the bottom. When it falls right to the bottom, the weight changes, and all of a sudden it flips upside down. And I have to have something in there. I'm not really sure what it is. At the same time, you can see there's a hole in it. So what is number one? There's nothing. Oh, look, there's a number one. Here's nothing. Here's a number one. When the O is standing up, right, like that, hey, look, it's number one. But when it's this side, it's nothing. It's nothing and it's all. It's nothing, it's one, and it's all. What does one do? Does it divide? How can I hold this up? Where am I going to reflect? Like this, I'm going to reflect back to you, holding it on this side. Like this, I'm going to reflect. Look at the light. You see the way the light reflects? See the little lines, the way it reflects on the lines? And you see the oscillating lines. So at the same time, we take this, we stick this up there, and we put the record on top. Is Earth round? I'm throwing all of this out. I'm tired. I'm not throwing this out because it's my favorite. And I'm not going to throw with a pinch of salt of peppers. And I had to buy that when I saw it. I didn't care if it was worth, I think they sold it to me for 25 cents or something. Almost the same price as what they sold it for when it came out in 1973. There you go. Okay, so we can have this record on top of here, right? And we can have multitudes of these. And we can point them all up to an area, and that'll create the sun, right? And then we take that sun and we shoot all the information out there to the star system. And we pick up all that information in the ether as they try to keep this world going. Remember, Earth, self-supported by nature. Without a human being, something created the planet with the suns and the astrology, and from it we made astrology, and from it we made mathematical equations from it. Everything we say in words comes from a mathematical equation. The sun, the stars, the astrology, when it happens, why it happens, and when it repeats, these are the stories that happen. So everything is stemmed from math and nature. Yeah. Now I just want to show you something really short. Where's this? No, I'm tied up here. Okay. I've got all kinds of stuff here. I made a little, I made a little stand for my phone. If I want to watch my phone, just put it on a little stand there, and I can see my phone. Or if I want to put the camera up in here, I don't know. Anyways, what I want to talk right now is something basic. 31, well, there's 29 more minutes in the hour, right? Are we starting at 00 to 1? When you end up 1, that is the first one done. When you end up at 60, or is it 59 to 60? Do we end up at the 5 position? At what point does that hour end up? The reason the hour ends over here and the rest of your entry to the center of 0 doesn't count in that period of time. It's a period of time of a void. But in the continuous of life and days and time, this is how it goes. The first day and the last day. And the first day of the next week. This is what we're going to call A. This is what we're going to call B. And the last day. A, B. Should we call this C? No, because we're going to have to call the middle day, the 4, the B, and here's the C. The C, 1, 2, 3, has the first day inside of it. Okay, and the first day, or the dividing day, which is the 4th day. which is 1, 2, 3 one way, 1, 2, 3 the other day. Call this day 0 or call this day 4. 1 for 1 exchange. Anyways, we're going to come up here to day 8, which is actually day 1 of week 2, and day 14, which is actually day 7 of week 2, but it's day 14. 1 and 4 and 7. 7 and 4, that is the numeric value, DNA under the sun, the birth, and the totality brings in the moon. When you bring in 7 and 5. 7, 1 times 4 is 4. 7, 4, that is where Jesus comes in, and it also reflects to the words, I am. Je suis in French. I don't care if you spelt it right, if you spelt it wrong. I don't know if you wanted to spell it his other way, his Jewish way, but this one actually says Earth AC. I'm going to get to this somewhere. You're going to be able to see where it's going to create. This AC will generate in mathematics by adding and multiplying, okay, equaling to 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is inside the 2 and the 5. The numeric value for 6 equals 52. The numeric value for 1 equals 34. So now we have 1 and 6, 7, 3 and 4, 7, 5 and 2, 7. Also crazy math. In week number 3, the first day is the 15th day, and it replicates Mars, DNA in the sun, foxhole, passhole. Anyways, 21st day, representing the day of the cube, birth of the chicken or rooster on the church. Day 21, if you add up 1 through 6, it equals to 21. And there's a whole mathematical equation when you add up numbers, or when you talk with numbers from 1 through 99. Because of this, it's also telling you 4 times 20. It's also telling you location. It's also telling you cat. It says 420 for marijuana, or, right, 60 and 360, which is 6 times 60 and 7 times 60. The 1 times 60 becomes the half-life inside the cube, because that shows up here and it takes up the half-life area. And then you can make your N, your Z, your I. You can say Zion comes from within the half-life. Day 22, now if you're in blackjack, you bust. 12 and 10 is the biggest bust. 6 and 6, 5 and 5, 6 and 4 are all telling stories at the 7th gate and the game of craps. For me, it says Abba. This is the 3rd week ending. This is the beginning of where pi begins. 22 divided by 7, or 7 divided by 22. No matter what you do with this number, it becomes 7 and 4. And we're back to Jesus, I am who I am. Starting between the 22nd and the 28th day, which brings on the cycle of the moon. 2 times 8, 2 plus 8 equals 16 and 10, 26. Now that calculation, 26, did I bring that up somewhere else? God, there's a big number in that 26, 622, 26. 26, there's just so many things. 26 is, just give me a second for pausing. First, we're going to come up with how can I get the number 26. One of the ways to get to the numbers 26 is right here. Okay, the 28, okay, and 86 have a creation of the same number. 2 times 8, 2 plus 8. 8 times 6, 48. 8 plus 6, 14. And 48 equals 62 and minus 34. So it's showing you the same numbers. This is the dividing of the 7th gate. The son of Pluto, the DNA passes through the sun. The foxhole, the trenchways. Okay, on the borderline. The trenchways, the foxhole, is a borderline between the enemy lines, which has to be understood in a different fashion, and your lines. It's not actually at the end of the line, but it's the furthest you can go. This will create 5, this will create 3. That 5 and 3 is your electric company, that is your any craps, and that will be linking up to 57, the moon. And the reason for that is 35 and 75, which is your moon, and also your 1/4 Earth. 3 times 25 is 75, sorry, your 1/3 Earth, and your 1/3 spirit. equaling to 57, equaling to 75. They're just going to keep telling you over and over stories because I'm putting direct words into it. I'm only using direct words. Anyways, in this 72 and 86 in my number, we're also going to bring in the number 35 because 3 times 5 is 15 and 0, 8, equaling to the number 23. Equaling to the number 23. This is how pi starts off. Pi is created. These numbers create pi. Brown, 100. These numbers create pi, 6, 5, 29, 65. You'll see the first 6 numbers in pi, or 8 numbers, are these 2 is what's going to create it. 15 and 14, 29. 1 and 5, 6. 1 and 4, 5. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So we end up with, and that's in your cycle. Now, I like to multiply numbers by 3. Yeah, I'm going to get into the bambino, the jumbo, the original size, the small, the medium, the large, the extra large, pizza numbers, how things are cut up to the point. You know what I'm saying? All the points. When you take away all the points, there is no center. So you take a center and you put a ring over the center. And now you got all pizza slices looking like that. You know what I'm saying? You got all pizza slices looking like that, and it's going all around your pizza. And nobody gets to eat this center, or everybody gets to eat this center, and everybody's a piece of whatever energy is in the ether that you eat. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. I was going to talk about gold. Gold is the church. But when you say golden, it becomes 57, the moon. The sunset becomes 54, the sun. For area space that it sets in, the total is 98. Sun and set, 98. That is the high sky area space. How things are said. The Hebrew, or the hue of light. Did curiosity kill the cat? Almost right in here, there's another word, and it's almost like electric city. There's all kinds of words that are telling other stories in here. Even our letters, I have to take up the above and the below. The above and the below. What exists above, what exists below. What you could and what you can't create on paper that can be created through an illusion. But to make the illusion perfect, you have to be able to get those pixels. And then you have to photo those pixels and prime them all together so it becomes one solid and you don't see the pixels anymore. How does that work? With multiple screens on top of each other, each one moved over and over and over to occupy all area space. Because the area space here, there's always going to be this area open. And when this area is open, you're going to go to the deck of cards, right? And very often you're going to see in the deck of cards, I don't want to show it here. You see the way it's coming out, right? I'm going to have to find a diamond. But when you get a lot of these diamond cards, you'll see a lot of the diamonds will be like this. That's going to be your diamond. The reason for that is it's because it's 4 circles around one area space. What is in that area space? The ether that feeds it? I don't know. But Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. I'm sure I left something out somewhere. Thank you for watching this video. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus.